Hey everyone, welcome back. I hope you're doing well. Here in England I've started what I hope and pray will be a busy season of weddings. Recently I travelled to Liverpool for a wedding and thought that it would be fun to spend an extra day there, wandering around the city taking pictures. All of these photographs are taken with the Fujifilm Natura Black. It's a small and extremely light point-and-shoot camera. It has a 24mm f1.9 lens, and as far as I know, mine is the only copy with a sticker of a strawberry on it. The film used was 2 rolls of Kodak Tri-X 400 and 2 rolls of Ilford Delta 3200. I've lightly edited the pictures in Lightroom, mostly adding some brightness and contrast. The last time I was in Liverpool was nearly 20 years ago. I went with my dad, my brother and a friend to see a tribute concert to George Harrison at the Empire Theatre. At the end of the show, which featured several Merseybeat bands, Paul McCartney made a surprise appearance. He reminisced about his friend George and sang a beautiful a cappella version of Yesterday, changing the lyrics to "Why he had to go, I don't know." So as soon as I stepped onto the grey and rainy streets of the city very early in the morning, it was a photograph of the Empire Theatre that I wanted to take first. I must admit that my spirits were low as I saw the venue was surrounded by building works and cordoned off by makeshift metal fencing. It was closed too, of course, because of the pandemic. It felt doubly closed, and combined with the rain and the grey skies, it was quite a dispiriting scene. I soon resolved to cheer myself up by visiting the Don McCullin exhibition of mostly war and conflict photography at the Tate Gallery. The day's weather was forecast to improve, and I thought that while the skies were dark, I might as well be inside until they hopefully cleared. I highly recommend looking at McCullin's work. I have finished reading his autobiography too this week. I'll put links to these in the description for you, but it must come with a warning. The pictures I saw from room to room in the exhibition was a tour of hell on earth. There were scenes of chaotic, horrifying evil, and of mundane, everyday poverty. There were unforgettable portraits of the dead and of the living dead. The scenes are so powerful in their own right that any overt artistry in photographing them would be unnecessary and seem distasteful. The scenes speak for themselves. In the battlefield, Don McCullin is a witness rather than an artist, a witness who makes us all witnesses too, and that's the heart of his work, I think. There was a moment that it occurred to me that of all the work in the Tate, these powerful pictures were the only ones that you had to pay to see. These pictures with their important message were just that little bit more hidden from the public than the rest of the collection. Then, moments after this thought, I read the notes of a particularly haunting portrait. It said that McCullin had once made a poster out of it and put it up all around London to put pressure on the British government to stop a war it was apparently supporting. When I eventually left the Tate, the rain had stopped and the sun was occasionally reaching the incredible architecture of the city. With black and white photography, I love the sunshine as it casts interesting shadows and gives your pictures definition and contrast. It also keeps you warm, which is nice too. Of course, the next stop on my magical black and white photography tour was the famous Cavern Club on Matthews Street. Just standing on the street was impressive enough, just being where that band had been so many times all those years ago. The Beatles played the club nearly 300 times in the early 1960s. I nearly chose not to pay the £5 to go down into the venue. It's not the same as it was, but much of the space overlaps the original space. It's not like they rebuilt it in Manchester. For the rest of the day I walked for miles around the city. I walked up to Liverpool Cathedral and to the stunning Palm House at Sefton Park. It was closed by the time I reached it, but I enjoyed photographing it through the railings of the closed gates all the same. Although my day was shaped by some tick-box sightseeing, as is often the case, it was the in-between moments that I enjoyed as much as anything. It was simply great to experience a sense of the city's character, not to be at any particular famous point on the map, but just to be in Liverpool. I spent the rest of my time in the city by the beautiful waterfront. The evening sun was shining from across the Mersey and washing across the grand trio of buildings known as the Three Graces. The strong sunshine gave these buildings a sense of bright, welcoming magnificence. Nearby, people skateboarded as the sun lowered. The sound of their wheels rushing against the concrete and occasionally taking off and then landing was relaxing to hear. After the rain and the empty streets of the morning, the sight of people enjoying themselves in the first moments of the summer was something to appreciate. As always, thank you all for watching, for thumbs upping and for subscribing. See you all soon.